Self-love is selfish. Or is it? The idea of self-love used to make me want to puke because growing up, I wasn't used to that sort of affection. Heck, I didn't know what love is. I was 16 when I started saying I love you too to my own family. And I always saw it as, this picture of someone taking care of themselves, skincare, looking good, spa days. It didn't look realistic for me. And I know a lot of people don't like the idea of self-love. For some reason, it sounds weird. The idea that self-love feels weird kind of makes sense actually, because it threatens our deep-rooted beliefs, especially if you grew up in a culture where you were told that you should take care of other people and respect the elderly and be nice to them. Therefore, you weren't really taught to love yourself, but rather show love to other people. And I've had people tell me that when you love yourself, then you're going to be arrogant and you're going to be narcissistic, which is technically not true because you can love yourself without being arrogant, and narcissists don't love themselves. And if you have low self-worth and you don't feel like you're worthy enough to be loved or you're enough, it's going to sound cringy, because how would I love myself with all my flaws and all my issues and all my problems? I'm not worthy enough for it. Self-love comes with a lot of discomfort because you need to learn how to deal with yourself, and you have to face yourself and your flaws and your insecurities for you to learn how to love yourself. We all know that for us to feel self-love, then we need to constantly be choosing ourselves and paying the price of not abandoning ourselves. But self-love is not the beginning of the journey, because honestly, you cannot love yourself before you accept yourself. Once you learn how to accept yourself and love yourself, despite your flaws, despite your shadows and your fears and your issues, then you're also learning how to love other people and accept other people for who they are. Hello, my name is Julie and welcome back to my channel. And here are 8 myths that we talk about when it comes to self-love that are simply not true. 1. Having self-love means that you always feel good. Not really. Just because you love yourself doesn't mean that, everything's gonna go great in your life. And you're going to have bad days, and you're gonna have moments where you feel weak and you don't feel as confident, and you might even doubt yourself. But that's okay, because self-love is accepting that you're also going to have these bad days. And when you do have them, you focus on self-compassion. You're compassionate with yourself and you validate yourself. Just like your loved ones would be compassionate to you and would validate you when you're having a bad day. Loving other people is not different from loving ourselves. In fact, the best way I've learned to accept self-love and to embrace it was to treat myself the same way I would treat the people I love. The same things I do for them, I would end up doing it for me. I'm worthy for the same treatment that I give them, so why not give it to myself as well? 2. You have to fix yourself before you can learn to love yourself. Self-love is not a reward. It's not something you give yourself once you achieve what you want to achieve or you fix what you want to fix in yourself. In fact, if you think you need to fix yourself, that's self-rejection and not self-love. It's not a reward to be perfect. And you're supposed to be loved exactly how you are, just like you love people exactly how they are. 3. If you have self-love, then you love everything about yourself. Thank God this is not true, because you can love yourself without loving every single thing about yourself. We all have flaws, we all have imperfections. And the idea of it is to accept what you don't love about yourself so that you don't judge yourself and you don't criticize yourself for having those flaws and imperfections. But you also get to love the good things about yourself, and you love who you are, and you know that you're deserving of love as well. If love means you have to love everything about that person, then that's just impossible, because even if you love someone else, let's say a romantic partner, there are going to be things about them that you don't love, that you hate, that might piss you off. But that doesn't mean that you don't love them. You can still love them, and then you accept their bad qualities or their qualities that you don't favor as much. 4. Self-love is spa and bubbles. No, it's not. You can love yourself without having your spa days. And self-love can also look like setting boundaries or maintaining consistency. and committing to yourself and committing to your schedule and working on your dreams and speaking to yourself kindly. I know a lot of people that prioritize spa and bubbles and how they look, and they take care of themselves and they still hate themselves. It has nothing to do with how you present yourself physically or how you take care of your physical beauty, but also how you deal with that inner critic and how you deal with yourself. 5. Loving yourself means you won't need anyone else. No. All humans need and require connection. Just because you love yourself doesn't mean you don't need anyone else. We're allowed to love other people as well. Loving yourself simply sets the standard for other people. So the way that you treat yourself, because you have that love, is what you're showing to people. How should they treat you according to how you treat yourself? As humans, we all need and desire love and connection. 6. Loving yourself means you put yourself first, always. Yes, in self-love, you do put yourself first at times, but if your loved ones need your support and they need you to be there for them, it's okay for them to be your first priority at that moment and not yourself. Self-love is about having that balance. Sometimes you focus on your needs and sometimes you focus on other people's needs, especially if you need to be there for them or you need to take care of them, and that's okay. You're not being selfish when you're loving yourself. You're simply creating that balance where just like I give you love, I also give myself love. Just like sometimes I put you first, sometimes I put me first. 7. Self-love means having no self-doubt. And thank God, this ain't true. We all have doubts and we all can even doubt ourselves, especially if things aren't going great in our lives. We can feel like, is it me? Am I the issue? Should I be doing better? Having doubt is normal. And when you feel like you have that doubt, even though you love yourself, that's completely fine. You just gotta connect back to yourself and then validate yourself and be there for yourself and be compassionate, just as you should. And finally, self-love is selfish and narcissistic. Choosing to love yourself actually makes you better at loving other people, because when you start showing up for these other people, you're actually showing up from an authentic place and you're loving them from an authentic place, as opposed to, having resentment when you show them that love. And narcissists don't actually love themselves. Deep down, narcissists are fragile. They're weak, they're hurt, they're wounded. And to protect that fragile self from other people, they tend to inflate this false ego, this false identity, and then they tend to reframe the perspective, reframe the story so that they look good and you look bad. They can't take accountability and they consistently blame other people because they can't face themselves. They know that the moment they have to face themselves and they have to take off that mask, that they're gonna need to deal with the ugly side of things. They don't like who they are. And that's why they consistently choose to bring people down, to feel better about themselves. Loving yourself will not happen in a day. You need to consistently show up for yourself and show yourself love for you to start forming that self-love. And just like everyone else, you're gonna have your doubts, you're gonna have your bad days, but it's not selfish to choose to love yourself, because without choosing that, you will not easily learn how to love other people unconditionally. So tell me, what's a myth that you've heard about self-love? Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.